Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It feels good saying that again, and this is going to be the last video for the year 2025. And I thought, why not do a video talking about the lessons I learned in 2025, right? But I feel like going into lessons like that without first talking about what my highlights were is just not right. So we're going to go into the highlights first and discuss what I felt was my highlight for 2025. It was a good year for me, guys, to be honest. And there are a few things that happened that are just at the top of my head. The favorite things that happened to me in the year 2025. So let's get into the highlights first, and then I'm going to get into what I learned in 2025. Now, my first highlight is this YouTube. I started my YouTube channel earlier in the year in 2025, and it was in the midst of doubts, in the midst of shyness. I've always told people I do not think I'm a in front of the camera kind of girly. I used to believe I was behind the scene kind of girly. So me starting a YouTube channel at the beginning of the year was me putting myself out there, which was my major goal. I wanted to put myself out there for a change, right? I'm that kind of girl that doesn't really post on social media. I don't really put stuff out on social media, not even on my LinkedIn. So I wanted something that would help put me out there, and YouTube was just there looking at me. And I started my YouTube channel, and it was an highlight for me. It's been amazing. I don't think I am as consistent as I would love to be, but to be damn honest, I'm more consistent than I thought I would be. I actually didn't think I was going to do more than a few episodes, and look at me doing an episode to round up the year, and also jotting in my journal, which a friend gifted to me. Thank you, Noya, for the journal. And I don't journal, but someone gifted me a journal, and I've written a few things. And one of the few things I've written is concerning my YouTube channel. So I'm hoping that next year, I'm not just hoping, I'm going to work towards making next year better. But this year, starting a YouTube channel is top of my highlights, or one of the big highlights I have. I wouldn't say top. There are other things that top it, but you know, it's up there. Now, two would be finding a church. I moved from the mainland to the islands last year. Actually, I got my space towards the end of 2023, but I didn't move to early 2024 because I took a few months to set it up. It had to be set up right for me. I wanted to be very comfortable. The goal for me was to have a warm space that I don't want to leave. Like I want to stay at home quite often, and that's exactly what I achieved. And I didn't move till 2024, and I couldn't find a church. I went to a few churches, and it just felt like I hadn't found somewhere for myself. And I finally did this year, and I'll tell you, it's one of the biggest highlights of my year. I mean, anything I'm sharing is the biggest, one of the biggest highlights of my year. So, if I repeat it, it's because it is, right? Finding church has been a blessing to me. It has helped shape a lot of things for me this year, and I am enjoying having a church, and I am looking forward to doing certain things next year, which is part of my goals for next year. I want to go for classes and just, immerse myself in what I am currently learning. Amazing stuff, right? The third thing, which is an highlight for me, babies. I know I said it in one of the first few videos from the beginning of the year that, oh, I was expecting a number of babies, and I said a friend had given birth and this and that. Every single pregnant woman I had at the beginning of the year have all given birth, and safely, if I might add. And for me, it's a win. For me, it's, so I don't know. I was looking forward to having these babies, and having them has been such a win for me. And it's three guys, or three baby boys and a girl. And I'm glad every single one of them came out healthy and, came out good. So I'm an auntie of many children, right? And two of my sisters gave birth. Okay, so the thing about my family is we have girls. I had two nieces, and I did not have a nephew. Not a problem, but it was a nice to have. And then God said, you know what, I'll give you two this year. So for me, that's a major highlight that I had this year. Amazing stuff. Three is financial, right? sometime this year I did a video about savings. I love saving. I save a lot. I don't know, it's at this point it's just part of me. I can't help but do it. But one thing I used to shy away from was investments because of the risk involved. My risk appetite, I would tell people, is very low. So I was much more comfortable saving than I was, doing investments. This year I took one or two bold moves. Shout out to people behind the scene who were encouraging me. One person in particular who encouraged me to take some of these bold steps that I have taken. And for me, it's an highlight. The results are not out yet. However, me being able to take this move or those moves it's just a sign of growth for me and an highlight for me because last year I wouldn't have done it. And then this year, this is me making one or two of those moves. So for me, that's an highlight. Okay. So highlights are good. Lessons. I don't know when I started doing these things, guys, but I've been doing it a lot lately. This clock it thing. So let me talk about a few things that I learned. I jotted it down. Number one is you can always get better. When people talk about happiness, they're like, I want to be happy. What do you want? I want to be happy. It's something I used to say before, and it's something a lot of people say. However, my stance on that has changed. I don't think people should pursue happiness. I think it is better to pursue joy because happiness is fleeting. Happiness is based on happenstance. Okay, and then joy is much more long lasting. Joy is much more deep. I think I googled what the definition of joy is, so let me share that with you. Joy is a deep lasting emotion of intense happiness, delight, and contentment. It is deep, it is long lasting. If you're pursuing happiness, happiness is usually tied to an event, happenstance. Someone dashes you a car, you're happy, right? Somebody does something nice to you, you're happy. Something you've been waiting for happens, you're happy. However, joy isn't necessarily tied to an happening. It's not tied to an happenstance. Permits my French. It is tied to something much more long lasting, something much more deep, right? For me, joy is innate. It comes from the knowledge that, oh, I am saved by Christ, stuff like that. It is deeper, it is much more long lasting than pursuing particular events. So I would recommend it to you. Find something deeper that you tie your joy to, something that doesn't change, a fact that never changes. Being saved by Christ never changes. So no matter what happens around you, your joy remains. Now, if you go to the other side, I talk about happiness, somebody doing something for you, you're waiting for that person to do it again to find your happiness. And that's just not wrong. So that's one major thing I learned this year. And to be honest, it changed a lot of things for me. So even when things are not necessarily moving your way, of course, you might get sad and all, but you're still rooted in joy because even when you feel sad about it, you remember that thing that brings you joy and you stay there. So the second thing that I learned is that people know what they are doing. Don't let anybody fool you to think they know what they are doing. See that rubbish that somebody's doing around you. They know what they're doing. And sometimes if you don't change it for them, they will not fix up. I had like if I have like 2, 3 examples to give. One I will shelf because let's just leave that one alone. I had neighbors this year who they had this tank that kept spilling water into my compound, and we tried telling them, oh, your water is spilling. When it's full, it's spilling, and it's like destroying our wall and destroying the paint and destroying the floor. And they didn't do nothing. It was like we were talking to a brick wall. Nobody was doing anything. They were not answering us. And at some point I got really mad, and I told the rest of us that we needed to report them to the Lagos State government. And because what they it was an illegal borehole that they dug, and it's now spilling. Your water isn't treated, so it's brown. Imagine lucky, water brown, full of iron and all, staining the wall, destroying our property. And then we are telling you, and you're just, refusing to do anything about it. So, I suggested this, we reported to Lagos State government. Everybody was like, no, let's see, talk to them. We tried, we spoke to them, reported to the estate management, nothing was done. When we reported to the Lagos State government, the next day, These people brought bucket of paint, like a big bucket of paint with brushes to paint themselves. They didn't hire anybody to paint. They brought, because Lagos State government came, saw the illegal borehole, sealed their compounds, and it didn't just affected. Sorry, it didn't just affect them; it affected their neighbors as well. So it was really bad. They came the next day with bucket of paint to paint our wall, painted the affected wall, and was asking me. They were asking me, "Would you like us to paint the other side as well?" People know what they are doing. They know what the F they are doing. They just will not fix up unless you change for them sometimes. So the idea that people don't know what they're doing, or it's a lie. Sometimes people know what they're doing. And I told my neighbors, people I share compound with, that this will not fix up because it's not affecting them. The water pouring is not affecting them, so they will not fix up. This kind of people are people that don't listen. I had issues with my neighbor as well. One pipe I ran was affecting them. They told me, and that same day I'd call a plumber to fix it, paid compensation. Oh, this thing eroded your son. I'm sorry. Take this amount, right? And everything was fixed. But it reached my turn, and then everybody is keeping quiet. I told them that's a sign of somebody who knows what they're doing and doesn't want to fix up. If they really want to fix up, when you complain to them, like, oh, we're sorry. Okay, how do we rectify? But when you're complaining and they're not asking how to rectify, nothing is done. Week one, week two, it got as bad as their tank falling into our compound. Like it fell. I was at home that day and I heard, wow, and their tank had fallen into the compound. So people know what they're doing. I have another issue with the guy that built the where I stay, and in fact, that was all that he was owing me money. Oh good. And then I had to change it for him. I saw it on the streets one day, and my money appeared. The entire amount of it appeared the next week. The point is, people know what you're doing, and sometimes will not fix up unless you change it for them. And I've had to change it for one, two, three people. When people are behaving a certain way towards you, sometimes believe them. So you can give them a benefit of the doubt, right? I tried with those neighbors. I tried talking to them. We tried reasoning with them. With the person that built the house, I tried talking to him. I tried reaching out, texting, calling before. So it's not about changing for people right away. It's about trying to fix up with them, trying to follow the normal routes. I try to have an understanding. But if they show you that you're mad, I'll leave it at that. Then the next the third thing I learned is I don't know if this will hurt anybody, but I do not like the book Americana. So somebody borrowed me Americana to read, and this is some months ago. And I'm sorry, in case you watch this video, I'm going to return your book. I'm really sorry for keeping it so long. And I have tried. So I one of the things I wanted to do in 2025 was start reading books again, actual books, hardcover. And I failed, to be honest. I failed terribly, woefully, to be honest. Hi, up where your cooking book is still with me. I haven't finished reading it, right? I failed woefully. But I did try towards the end of the year to push. And then I would carry the book Americana every single place I go. If I'm visiting a friend, if I'm going anywhere, I will carry the book in the hopes of, with the hopes of I'm going to read this book, even if it's a chapter or a page. I even have someone who suggested to me to read it, for 1 hour a day. And I tried. But it's difficult when nothing is bringing you back. Like, I'm not even ginger to know what happened next. Oh my God, what happened next? What did they do next? What did she say next? That wasn't there for me. And because of that, I have determined the problem is not me. I am not the problem. The book is the problem. I don't like the book. And one of my goals, or one of the things I'm ending in 2025, is that book. I am going to close it. I'm thinking of getting a book for 2026. Please recommend something interesting, something that once I pick up like this, I don't, for that 1 hour, I'll be begging myself to do 2 hours so I can just see what happens in the next chapter. So if you have any book recommendations, put it in the comment section or send me a message on WhatsApp for those of you that are shy, and I will just leave comments on my YouTube. I would, look at them and pick one and read, because I have determined that I am not the problem. Americana is the problem. Shout out to the writer. You are not the problem. But that book, I don't know. That book is definitely the problem. Another thing I learned in 2025 is that there is love at home, at least for me. And I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for friends. Shout out to all my sisters. You guys are amazing. Shout out to friends that have stayed by me, been with me. 2025 was an amazing year with you guys. I didn't get to see you guys every time or get to talk every time, but I see you, I recognize everything you guys do and the love that I get from you. So shout out to my friends, shout out to my family, shout out to extended family, that people that are not from my parents, but are family to me. Shout out to the Daries, um, obviously Luffy is my family, and just people that have been there for me this year. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. And obviously, I am grateful for every single person that is subscribed to this channel, that likes my videos, that comments, or just text me and be like, "Blessing, what's up? We haven't seen a video from you." I have one or two people that do that, and you guys don't know, but it does encourage me to come back and do it again. So I appreciate you guys for 2025, and I'm looking forward to 2026 with you. So I hope to see you guys again next year. I'll be sharing a lot more. I'll be posting a lot more. So stay with me, stay with this growth, and I hope to catch you soon. Bye, guys.